Two-headed right, two heads are better than one-headed right. Two heads are better than one-headed right. Two heads are better than one-headed right. Two heads are better than one.
Hello! Welcome back to our channel. My name is Evalyn.
My name is Monty.
And together we are the Two-Headed Writer, a father-daughter writing team from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Although usually I am attending the University of Iowa studying English and creative writing.
But we still have our home for winter break. Usually we get together through video chat and talk about our writing and our progress, writing together, the separate projects we're working on, Evelyn's assignments in school, and whatever else comes up. And we try to talk about interesting writing topics that will be of interest to anybody who's on their own writing journey. And we're glad that you've joined us for ours. You made a New Year's resolution to write 300 words a day. Have you been doing it?
I have.
Excellent. And are those words contributing to your novel?
Partially.
Mm-hmm.
So what has been happening is I will work on my novel and then I'll get to the point where I'm kind of stuck. Instead of just moving on and doing something else, I have an outline for a different project that's going to be what I start in November that I've been playing with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your next novel.
Yes.
You're outlining that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a thing about it.
Haha.
Ha!
I can say it's a contemporary story set in a high school. I have two main characters because it's going to be dual point of view, fingers crossed. I think it only works in dual point of view. I've just been calling them character 1 and character 2 this entire time and using they them pronouns in all of my stuff, and it's getting confusing. So I've gotten to the point where I need to actually figure out who the characters are, which I had concepts, so I'm giving them names right now.
It's kind of hard. It's like you're birthing this character that you're going to live with for a while, and you want them to have the right name. And it also seems really easy to me to let that slow you down. I'll be like, okay, I have to name these characters. I suddenly need to take a nap. You know? And like, until I name the character, I can't get further with it at that point. And so, yeah, and it's hard because you don't want the wrong name.
No. I came up with the concept. Two obvious personalities popped into my head. It only works if one of them is already confident and the other is not so. I like going on like baby name websites and looking at all their lists and pulling them, and then I have a short list for who is still as of now called character 2 of names for her.
You don't even have genders for these characters, do you?
Well, I think I've settled on character 2 being a girl. I'm not sure about character 1 yet. So yeah, I'm in the process of that, and I want to be able to slowly work on that and have a solid outline at the same time that I'm finishing up the first draft of the other one, so that I can just go ahead and give the other one to people to read and then like work on that one, the new one, while that's happening. So
That's good. It's good to have a new project lined up, so when you finish writing one, you're not just like, now what? And
yeah.
You fall off the cliff.
And I like that it's contemporary, which is not something I usually have like novel length ideas for.
Mm-hmm.
And I get stuck in my like magical fantasy world, and I'm like, this is too much, I can't like deal with this right now. I just get to go like high school, that's like really familiar, and then I just have to worry about the plot.
Right. Because in your magical fantasy world, it's like, how can we accomplish this story beat? And it's like, absolutely anything could happen.
Yeah.
It's got to be awesome. Right?
Yeah.
Cool. So you're simultaneously doing stuff.
Yeah. And I feel like I've been gravitating toward a lot of like stories reading wise right now that are about like high school and the end of high school and stuff, which is because that's where I was like in 2019. So
A year ago.
it feels natural to be like writing it now because I was consuming so much of it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
If you're ever going to write a high school story, now's the time. It's still fresh in your memory.
Yeah. Because, like, especially being home right now and, like, talking to some of my friends who are, like, doing the senior year thing, senior year sucks. Like, so, it's so stressful and awful. Everything changes within, like, a year. And it's, yikes.
I must say, you handled it so well. At least as far as your mom and I could see. Just deciding on what you wanted to do and picking a college and doing the applications, and you just handled it so well. We're very proud.
Oh boy, I can't even begin to imagine what it would have been like if I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the hardest. That was me.
Because I have from like age 8 or 9 onward pretty much consistently been like, no, I want to write. I want to be a writer.
I'm glad you appreciate that, because it really is a lucky thing to know what you want. You feel a lot of pressure that, you know, pick your college based on what you want to do. You're going to go there and declare a major, and you have to know what the rest of your life is going to look like right now. I think a lot of that pressure is artificial. Throughout college, you have plenty of chance to change your mind.
Yeah, but I picked...
And it's okay if you change your mind. If you're not going to change your mind, if you really know what you want to do and you're on that course, that's lucky. But it's not the end of the world if it goes the other way either.
Like, I know a lot of people who didn't know what they wanted to do, so they just, like, stayed here. But I made my list of schools based on the program that I wanted to be in, and then picked the one that gave me the most money, but also the one where I felt very comfortable. That worked for me as a person, so sometimes it's hard for me to imagine, like, just picking a school and, like, oh, fingers crossed they can give me what I need, right?
Yeah, well, you get your education and then you do something with it. I mean, the education is an asset, and you can apply it to many things.
Yeah.
So, you know, just as long as you're getting a good education, if you don't know what you're going to do with it yet, it doesn't matter.
It kind of matters. People pay a lot for it. You kind of have to know what you want to do, or else you're not going to be able to pay it back.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess the pressure is higher for your generation because of that. Like, so college is so much more expensive now.
Oh, here she comes.
Oh, watch out, here she comes. Look out, boy, she's a puppy dog. Yeah, because, like, you thought about going to SCAD, and it's like, yeah, you go to SCAD, you get training in how to make TV shows and how to make movies, and you're practically guaranteed, according to their material, practically guaranteed to get a job in the biz. But you have to be super rich to pay for it.
Not to, like, talk bad about SCAD or anything.
Oh, we love SCAD. It was
SCAD
cool.
was an
I was like,
amazing
I want to go
place.
here.
But SCAD was like, we've given you as much financial aid as we possibly can without you winning one of our very competitive scholarships. And if you go here for 4 years, you're going to have $100,000 worth of student loan debt. That's like something that's a very big aspect of being like a senior in high school, which is the age that I have my characters at.
Evalyn knows this, but I'm just giving some background. So in my book, Danica Dunn is starting middle school. Her parents want to put her in, they've picked out a school for her to go to. It's an art school. She's interested in the arts, but she's finding out during the course of the story she's more interested in computer science, and that school doesn't offer computer science, and she finds an alternative for herself. So what I wanted to tell you was, in the very first draft, the original draft, Danica didn't really know what she wanted for a long while, and part of the story was sort of her going back and forth and trying to decide. And I decided that it worked a lot better as a story to have her pretty quickly really wanting to go to the other school, so that created that conflict.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily am trying to have a character who doesn't know what they want to do as much as a character who knows what they want to do but doesn't know, like, how to get there, or if they do know what schools they want to apply to. Like, if they're interested in arts, it's like, well, like, you know, how can I pay for that? Like, those sort of, like, more realistic issues. One of the characters I have interested in costume design, the other I feel like I have being a good athlete, but isn't necessarily passionate about that, but schools are like contacting them because of that, but they want to do something else. So either one of those would be like a
Tricky situation.
Yeah, but it's not the main thing, right?
Right. It doesn't sound like it was a stand-up story by itself. I was gonna say, I hope there's another conflict.
No. There's a whole thing with, like, the two of them have this, like, I don't want to call it a bet, but, like, they're conducting experiments, I guess, is how I would describe it. They have a plan that involves the two of them, some sort of mutually beneficial thing, and then it kind of falls apart over time and ends up with unexpected results.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
You need to hold me to account, Evalyn. I challenged you. I said, you should write a novel a year. And you're, like, setting yourself up for that pace. And now you should hold me to that as well. I should write a novel a year, too. Because if we're both writing a novel a year, at some point, one of us will get published, right?
Speaking of your novel, how's that going? You got your comments back from Grandma.
Yeah, my mom. Hi, Mom. She's watching. Yes, she read it and commented, and you read it and commented, and now I have a lot of little pencil marks throughout my manuscript that I need to go look at. I think maybe I need to cut out a couple of chapters, combine some things, and not have quite as many back and forth. So there's lots of back and forth beats around certain issues in the story, and where maybe I just need one back and forth, and that would
make it less repetitive.
That would make it less repetitive, and that would do to tell the story, and then we would get to the main action quicker.
I liked the main action.
Because once we got 3/4 of the way through, then you couldn't put it down.
I'm curious, did she have a similar, like...
I think so. She did say it got better toward the end. And you were like reading a chapter a day, sort of forcing yourself to do it.
Well, not a chapter a day, a chapter at a time.
Not your genre.
Yeah.
But you said by the time you hit like the 3/4 mark, then you read the rest of it all in one sitting.
No, yeah. It was very funny because we had been talking about it earlier that day. And you asked what had just happened in the chapter I read, and I told you, and you said, I think it really picks up, not in the next chapter, but the chapter after that. And I got to the chapter after that, and then I finished the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So you pinpointed to the exact chapter where I would be, like, engaged by it. And at one point I was like, I'm impressed that he knows where his best part starts. But at the same time, I'm like, if he knows what's engaging about this, why isn't more of it engaging?
Well, because it took so much to set it up. It's like everything in the first part of the book is setting it up for that last part that just unreals.
It was just a little bit more of a stark difference than I think it should be for it to be a very good book.
All right, that's fair. I have to figure out how to condense the first part and make it just as exciting as the end. That's not possible. Just as compelling. I have a calendar for this book, so I pulled up the calendar and I went ahead and fleshed it out with like all the beats, everything that happened that changes the story. Now I need to go through that list and say, okay, I don't need this and this. We can combine these, blah, 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 and try to tighten it up. All right, our book together. I have gone completely through the manuscript and marked everything in it that needs revision. And then it's Evelyn's turn to look at those notes and tell me what she agrees with and make suggestions of her own, add notes of her own. And then I'm following back through after her, actually making the revisions. And this is going to take longer than I thought. The main general thing that I found lacking in our manuscript, I think, is point of view, voice. They talk about voice, and we've been struggling on what do they mean by voice? It's in third person voice, but it's not. There's right now a lot of times the third person voice sort of moves distant from the character. We want it to be right there in the character's head, and so we're making a lot of changes.
I mean, okay, but that's
to bring that voice out, to make it feel like it's Macy telling the story.
I like to point out, so we have previously discussed the sort of filter on this channel, I believe. This was while you were revising part 1, is when you kind of landed on this, oh, filter is a thing I need to remove this most recent time. So
right.
It's not surprising that you're finding it in later spots in the book, because it's not something you were as in tune to before.
Right. For the past, I don't know how many months, we've been focused on revising part 1, because that actually changed the events that we were depicting changed. I feel like our story is settled. It's just cleaning it up a little bit and focusing that point of view. When I revise a paragraph and then read it again, I'm like, oh, this is so much better. And every draft we feel that way. When are we going to get to a draft where we're like, okay, we can't make this any better? I don't know.
Somebody else tells us that.
Forever. Maybe so.
Somebody else tells us that.
No, they'll just say it's good enough. Let it go. Let it go.
If you liked this video and you'd like to keep following us on our writing journey, remember to click that subscribe button and ring that little bell icon so you can be notified whenever we upload a new video. I stayed up so late last night trying to get this stupid video to upload and it didn't work twice.
Oh no, was that ours?
Yes.
Oh.
But it's up now.
Oh.
Yeah. I put it in, it uploaded to 100%, and then it just kept going. It got up to 114% before I just decided to quit it.
What does that mean?
I don't know. And then
we're adding to your video. We didn't think it was long enough.
And then I canceled that, did it again. It got to 100%. I was like, okay, cool. I closed it out because then I thought it would process. And then when I opened it the next morning, it would be there. I opened it the next morning. It never processed. So I deleted it again and I started it, and it said it was going to take an hour and a half, and it took closer to 2 hours to even upload. This morning it took half an hour to upload, and now it's up.
The key was waiting till morning.
I guess. My point being, supposed to be Sunday uploads, but you never know, so ring that bell icon so you can be notified.
Very good.
We will be...
And post a comment below what you think Evalyn should name her characters.
Yeah. We will be back next week, probably together, with another video. And...
until then, keep on writing, and always remember,
2 heads are better than one.